At this past Tampa RV show, we met the folks from RV SnapPads, and they said,
"Hey Jesse, let's make some videos."
And I was like, sure, why not? And then just a few weeks ago, friends of ours, John and Laura Hebert, who have the YouTube channel Hebert's Travels, came by. So we did a little video collaboration together. So in today's video, you're going to get to hear John and Laura's travel story, as well as at the end of the video, watch me put these SnapPads to the test. I'm Jesse, and you're watching Outside is Calling.
Intro video.
We decided that we wanted to focus on what was important to us, which was our relationship and trying to find happiness in our lives rather than focusing on what everyone else says that we should. There's this expectation that you're supposed to buy this big giant house that's way too big for you and have loans on a couple of cars and then pack this thousands of square feet full of stuff and buy everything on credit because you don't have the money now. And we were looking at this path that we're supposed to take, and we wanted nothing to do with it.
I think it was about our third or fourth vacation that the time between each vacation was getting shorter and shorter to where we felt like we needed a break. And finally, by the fourth vacation, we were like, this is ludicrous. We've got to get out of it.
My name's John. I grew up near Seattle. I left Washington when I was 19, joined the Army, and traveled around the country and the world for about 9 years. After I was medically retired, I met Laura, and a few years later, we got the RV.
I'm Laura Hebert. I grew up in Kansas City, and we left in 2016 to start our journey. When we were working in Kansas City, we were both working full-time jobs, and we never saw each other. We were at opposite schedules, and finally it took a toll on us and our marriage, and we decided to try our lives on the road and try something new.
So we'd been full-time in the RV for about a year and a half before we got our SnapPads, and they actually fixed a lot of problems we didn't even realize we had until we put them on.
One of the biggest ones that we faced was in Kansas, the sunlight would hit the rig and the concrete and everything around us at the same time of day and just really heat up, and then our jacks would start popping and sliding, and it just wasn't a stable base for our RV, and the dogs would get freaked out. We didn't attribute that to the actual jack pad slipping. We thought it was something to do with the hydraulics until we put on the SnapPads.
Putting those plastic blocks down isn't an option because you put all that weight on the plastic block and it just crushes it, punches holes in it.
Or you slide.
Yeah, or you slide, but the rubber on the SnapPad's able to flex just enough that you can put down on a rocky area, or you might have a big root running under it and you can't go chop the root up.
And it keeps your jack pad from bending.
Yes. So the SnapPads have just made traveling easier because we can go to a Walmart parking lot, we can go to a friend's driveway, we can put our jacks down and get level, and we're not worried about breaking their concrete, leaving big jack pad divots in soft pavement. Also, if we put down on something that's a little unlevel, it kind of dampens it because the rubber is able to flex a little.
Being that we always boondock, we never really know what kind of surface we're going to be parking on that night. So it just gives us that much more security in where we're going. We don't have to, call ahead, hey, do you have asphalt, concrete, or gravel or dirt?
So a bit bigger than the fifth wheel SnapPads. It's a Class A SnapPad, but my friend Jesse is about to put these on his big giant tag axle diesel pusher. It does have a couple of pounds to it, weighs a little bit. So here, catch, Jesse.
Thanks, John. So my name is Jesse, my wife Jenny, and our 2.5-year-old son Tucker and I all travel full-time in this RV. So this is a big 40-foot Class A diesel pusher. This is a big, heavy RV, and because of that, we've got some of SnapPad's bigger SnapPads. Our RV dry is about 34,000 pounds, so 17 tons dry, not including any of our gear, foods, waters, etc. So we get heavy really quick, and because of that, we have to be really careful of where we put our jacks down at. Speaking of Jenny and Tucker, here they are passing by now. They didn't want to be in the video, but they were passing by, so they're easy to pick up here. But yeah, so we've had this RV and this little boy all over, down into Baja, Mexico, up to the Canadian border, across the US. We've been all over, and we're excited to install some SnapPads because this will definitely help make life a little bit easier.
Definitely been stuck a time or two without these guys.
Yeah, they're gonna head inside, but I'll tell you more about the SnapPad system. Like John and Laura mentioned, the last thing you want to do if someone is nice enough to let you stay on their property, the last thing you want to do is crack their concrete or leave big holes in the asphalt. So the SnapPads are a great way to minimize that risk. We also do a ton of boondocking, and we always have these pads we bring to kind of help out with getting the RV stable, and these actually more than double the footprint of our RV's current pads, so that's that much more surface area we'll have to get a good proper footing and to get the RV level. So I talked with the folks over at RV SnapPads, and I was asking them just how hard or easy are these to install, and they're actually very simple. They explained to me that all you have to do is take some dish soap, rub it around the edge here, and then just put this underneath of the RV jacks and lower the jacks down. The jack will lower down and actually snap into the pad. But first, before I install these SnapPads, let's go back over to John and Laura's rig and see just how strong these things are.
Oh, it's my SnapPad. Yeah, you just get so comfortable you don't even realize they're there.
We didn't have a whole lot to test the pads with, so we just used their big old truck. All right, so driving over this with a pickup truck wasn't that exciting. It was a big truck that John and Laura have, but we need something bigger. How about a 40-ton crane? So the SnapPad refused to deform or crack. So we put the crane in reverse and drove over it again. Well, there you have it. That was squish test number 2 with a 40-ton crane, and the SnapPad is hanging tough. We got a little scuff here and there, a little bit of dirt, and that's really it. This thing, no cracks, no damage. I think now it's time for the gravity test. So for the next test, we're gonna hook this up to a 40-ton crane, take it up 100 feet and drop it on the concrete. Let's see what happens. Down below, we'll pull this rope, which will release this mechanism. It's going to release this strap, and then the SnapPad will drop out of the strap and free fall to the concrete. When we pull this, that strap is going to go loose. Down goes the SnapPad. Up we go. Up she goes. Up, 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 up. Up to 100 feet up in the air. I feel uncomfortably close to the impact zone. I wonder if we ought to move back a little bit. When I pull this rope, it's going to release the SnapPad 100 feet up in the air above concrete. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. It seemed kind of pancake, right?
Yeah,
kind of flat. Look at that thing. Just dirt. Just got a little dirt on it.
It's pretty tough.
Check that out. That's nothing.
Yeah,
Look at that.
scratches, some dirt.
Yeah.
I think if you washed it, it'd look brand new. That's cool.
All right, so that was gravity test number 1. So we totally failed to destroy this SnapPad. In fact, I think all we really did was get it dirty and scuff up the edges. I thought for sure we would have cracked some of the rubber, maybe got a little gouge or two out of it, but this thing is still intact and undamaged. No matter how many times we drop it, the SnapPad endured. And let me tell you, we dropped it a bunch and I enjoyed dropping it way more than a grown man should. Man, that is so high. That is up there. Holy crap. All right, we're ready, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Watching the SnapPad free fall, gain speed, and impact the ground was awesome. The impacts were insane. When I first heard of RV SnapPads, to be honest, I didn't know if this would be a good fit for us. We go to some seriously awesome places way off the beaten path, which often means getting a few scratches, tearing things up, or adding a few dents from time to time. But for us, the reward of reaching these amazing places is totally worth the cost of some scratches and dents. When our RV SnapPads arrived, I wanted to do some testing before simply assuming that everything was fine. We need our gear to withstand these places we travel to. And so I devised these tests to see just how strong they are. So no, our tests weren't overly scientific, but after driving over the SnapPads several times with a truck and a massive crane, and then dropping it 100 feet from the top of a big crane, watching this thing fall through the air, taco, and spring back to shape, well, it definitely passes my test. In the next video, I'll show you just how easy these things are to install. And let me know in the comments below if you can think of any other fun tests we should try with the RV SnapPads. A big thanks to RV SnapPads for sponsoring this video, and a big thanks to you for watching. I'm Jesse, and I'll see you in the next video.